In Tokyo, real estate agents have a quiet term they use behind closed doors. They call certain homes heavy. Not because of the furniture, not because of the size. A heavy home is one where no matter how many times it's cleaned, no matter how much natural light pours through the windows, buyers walk in, stand in the entryway for exactly 4 or 5 seconds, and then quietly say, "I'll think about it." They never come back. For years, agents assumed it was superstition. Then a researcher at Tokyo University did something almost nobody had done before. She followed 40 of these viewings with a hidden decibel meter and a heart rate monitor strapped to each buyer's wrist. She wasn't measuring the house. She was measuring the person standing in the doorway. And what she found had nothing to do with square footage. The buyers who rejected the heavy homes weren't reacting to mold or bad lighting or a strange smell. Their heart rate spiked every single time at the exact same location. Not the kitchen, not the bedroom, the genkan, the entryway, the 3-foot strip of floor between the outside world and the inside of the house. Something about what was sitting there, waiting, unconsciously told their nervous system, this space has not been protected. Here's what almost nobody outside Japan understands. The front door of a Japanese home is not a hinge that swings open and shut. It's a border, a checkpoint. And for centuries, there has been an unspoken agreement about exactly what is allowed to cross it and what must be left behind, every single time, without exception. Not written into law, not printed on a sign. Passed down instead through something quieter, the way a grandmother pauses at the step, the way a child is corrected without a single word, just a glance toward the floor. Most people in the West have never been told this rule exists, so they carry everything inside. The mud on their shoes, the argument from the car ride home, the version of themselves they had to be at work all day. And they wonder, quietly, privately, why their home never quite feels like a place they can rest in, even after they've vacuumed it, decorated it, spent thousands making it beautiful. I'm going to walk you through 12 things that are never, under any circumstance, allowed past a Japanese front door. Some of them you can see, most of them you can't. And the 12th one, the last one on this list, is the reason the first 11 even matter. It's the one almost nobody names, because it doesn't look like clutter or dirt or anything you could photograph. Stay with me to the end, because once you understand what the genkan is actually protecting, you will never look at your own front door the same way again. Item number 1, outside shoes. Why most people keep them on. In most Western homes, shoes stay on out of habit, convenience, or a kind of low-grade denial. The floor doesn't look that dirty, so nobody questions it. Why Japanese homes never allow it? The genkan sits at a slightly lower level than the rest of the house. A physical architectural drop that forces a decision. A small step up that your body registers before your mind even catches up. Shoes come off here not because of dirt alone, but because the outside world, with all its noise and obligation, is not permitted to touch the floor you'll later sit, eat, and sleep on. What removing it actually changes. The moment bare feet or socks touch the raised floor, the nervous system receives a signal that the outside performance has ended. It's a physical ritual that does the psychological work of clocking out. The rule going forward. Nothing that touched the street touches your living space. Not once, not just this once. Even guests, even for only a minute, follow the same rule without exception. Because the moment you make one exception, the boundary stops being a boundary at all. Item number 2, the workday identity. Why most people keep it. People walk in still holding the tone of voice, the posture, the tension they used in a meeting 3 hours earlier, because nobody ever taught them to consciously put it down. Why Japanese culture never allows it. There's a concept called tatame, the face shown to the outside world, and it is deliberately, ritually separated from home, the real self shown only at home. Carrying tatame through the front door is considered exhausting and, frankly, rude to the people waiting for you inside. What removing it actually changes. Family members stop absorbing secondhand stress. The home stops feeling like an extension of the office. The rule going forward: before you open the door, take one breath and silently ask, which version of me is walking in? Choose on purpose. If the answer is still the one from the meeting room, stand outside a moment longer until it isn't. Item number 3, unopened mail and flyers. Why most people keep it. It feels harmless. Junk mail gets tossed on a counter for later, and later never comes. Why Japanese homes never allow it. Paper clutter at the entry is treated as unresolved business standing guard at the door. A small daily reminder of things left undone, greeting you with obligation before you've even taken your shoes off. What removing it actually changes. The entryway stays visually and mentally clear, which studies on environmental psychology consistently link to lower background anxiety. The rule going forward: sort it standing up at the door before you take one more step inside. Recycle what doesn't matter, act on what does, and let nothing cross into the living room to deal with later. Item number 4, borrowed things not yet returned. Why most people keep them. Returning a borrowed item requires a small, awkward effort, so it gets shelved indefinitely, quietly becoming part of the furniture. Why Japanese culture never allows it. Borrowed objects carry an unfinished obligation, a small imbalance between two people that is considered bad manners to let linger, a quiet debt of trust that politeness demands you settle quickly, not conveniently. What removing it actually changes. Every returned item closes a tiny open loop in the mind. And the mind, it turns out, keeps score of these loops, whether you're aware of it or not. The rule going forward: a borrowed object gets a return date the day it enters your home, not eventually. Write it down if you have to. The goal isn't memory, it's closure. Item number 5, wet or open umbrellas. Why most people keep them. An open dripping umbrella feels practical to leave by the door so it can dry. Why Japanese homes never allow it. An open umbrella indoors is treated as bringing the storm inside with you, the exact weather you just escaped still hovering over the entryway, dripping onto the very floor meant to mark the boundary between outside and in. What removing it actually changes. There's a small but real psychological difference between a home that feels sealed off from chaos and one that still has the chaos dripping in the hallway. The rule going forward: close it, shake it off outside the threshold, and store it upright in a stand, never left open to air out inside the entryway itself. Item number 6, talk about other people. Why most people keep it. Gossip feels like connection in the moment, a shared complaint that briefly bonds two people against a third. Why Japanese culture never allows it. There's a cultural instinct against carrying someone else's business into your own sanctuary. The home is considered too sacred a space to fill with someone else's failures, borrowed drama, or half-true stories that were never yours to repeat. What removing it actually changes. Conversations at home shift from complaint to presence, and presence is what actually makes a house feel warm. The rule going forward: if a conversation starts with "Did you hear about?" finish it on the porch, not the sofa. Your home should know your friends by name, not by their worst moments. Item number 7, an unfinished argument. Why most people keep it. Walking through the door mid-fight feels natural. The argument doesn't pause just because the location changed. Why Japanese homes never allow it. There's a long-standing cultural discipline around not letting conflict enter the house, rooted in the belief that a home holding tension will eventually make everyone inside it tense, even the people who had nothing to do with the argument in the first place. What removing it actually changes. Couples and families who consciously pause conflict at the threshold report resolving it faster once they're both calm enough to actually listen. The rule going forward: finish the sentence outside. on the step, in the car, anywhere but the Gen-Can. Cross the threshold only once you're both ready to be soft again, even if that takes an extra 5 minutes in the cold. Item number 8. New purchases, still in their packaging. Why most people keep them. Boxes and bags pile up by the door to be dealt with later, turning the entryway into a mini warehouse. Why Japanese homes never allow it. Anything new is unwrapped, sorted, and given a place immediately. The entryway is a passage, never a storage room, and objects without a home are not allowed to linger there pretending they have one, cluttering the very space meant to feel like a clean exhale at the end of the day. What removing it actually changes? A clear entry point trains the eye and the mind to expect order the second you walk in, which quietly resets your baseline stress level every single day. The rule going forward: nothing stays boxed for more than the time it takes to open the door and step inside. Unwrap it, place it, or return it. The entryway is a doorway, not a decision you get to postpone. Item number 9. Other people's opinions of you. Why most people keep it. A stray comment from a coworker, a stranger, even a relative, gets replayed on a loop long after it was said, because nobody gave you permission to drop it. Why Japanese culture never allows it. Home is treated as the one place entirely free from outside judgment, a philosophy closer to what Western psychologists now call psychological safety, but practiced here as an architectural rule, enforced by the threshold itself, not just held as an abstract feeling that comes and goes. What removing it actually changes. The nervous system finally exits the state of being evaluated, which is the actual biological definition of rest. The rule going forward: ask yourself at the door, whose voice am I still carrying? Leave it there. It was never yours to bring inside in the first place. Item number 10. Comparison. Why most people keep it. Scrolling right up until the door opens means the curated lives of others walk in right alongside you, uninvited. Why Japanese culture never allows it. There's an old principle: mono no aware. A quiet appreciation for what is, exactly as it is, without measuring it against what someone else has or does or owns. Comparison has no place in a home built on that idea, because it turns gratitude into a competition nobody actually wins. What removing it actually changes. Gratitude and comparison cannot occupy the same room at the same time. One always displaces the other. The rule going forward: phone down, eyes up, before the key even turns in the lock. Whatever you saw on someone else's screen does not get a seat at your table. Item number 11. Small unpaid debts. Why most people keep them. A few dollars owed to a friend, a bill pushed to next week, small enough to ignore, so it gets ignored. Why Japanese culture never allows it. Debt, even tiny debt, is treated as an open thread between two people, and open threads are considered a quiet form of disorder that Japanese households traditionally close before the end of each season, if not each day. So nothing carries forward unresolved into the next. What removing it actually changes. Financial researchers have found that small, unresolved debts create a background hum of guilt that's disproportionate to the amount owed. Closing them removes the hum entirely, not just the balance. The rule going forward: pay it, settle it, or name a date out loud to the person you owe. An unnamed debt is the one that lingers longest, quietly in the back of both minds. Item number 12. The mask. Why most people keep it. This is the one nobody names, because it doesn't look like an object. It's the composed face, the steady voice, the "I'm fine," the mask worn all day for coworkers, strangers, even friends, out of necessity. Why Japanese culture never allows it. This is the reason the other 11 exist at all. The Gen-Can is where tatami is meant to be set down for good, not carried one more step further into the house. Everything on this list, the shoes, the stress, the gossip, the comparison, the unpaid debt, is really just a different shape of the same mask. Take it off here, or you'll wear it into your own living room, at your own dinner table, in front of the people who love you most and deserve to see your real face. What removing it actually changes, a home stops being another stage and finally becomes the only room in your life where nothing is being performed. The rule going forward: before the door closes behind you, ask one question: is this my real face? If the answer is no, you haven't actually come home yet. You've just changed location. A house full of masks is just a different kind of outside. This was never really about shoes or umbrellas or unopened mail. It's about understanding that a home doesn't protect you just because you live in it. It protects you because of what you refuse, consistently, quietly, at the door, to let inside. That refusal is not coldness. It's not exclusion. It is the oldest form of self-respect there is. Deciding, on purpose, what gets to reach the people and the space you love most. Most people spend years renovating a house, buying better furniture, painting the walls a calmer color, chasing a feeling of peace that never quite arrives. And the whole time, the real leak was standing at the front door, 3 feet from where they were looking, waiting patiently to be noticed. Remember that researcher and her 40 buyers and the heart rate monitors strapped to their wrists in doorways all over Tokyo. She wasn't studying architecture. She was studying what happens to a nervous system the instant it senses an unguarded threshold. And every one of us, whether we know the term Genkan or not, is standing in one every single day. So tonight, when you get home, pause before you turn the key. Look down at that small strip of floor and ask yourself, honestly, which of these 12 things you've been carrying inside without ever meaning to, which one will you finally, honestly, leave at the door tonight?